Okay, we are online, on time this week, and I hope somebody is going to read the IDW G.I. Joe comic book and write to the letters page. I'd like to know that somebody's writing to Larry this week. That would be great. Hello, Green Yeti. Nice to see you. You were on it this week, Green Yeti. You're the first one in. Let's see here. There we go. Cool. All right. Well, I'm having a Sam Adams Boston Lager. And unfortunately, drinking beer makes me burp, so I'll try not to burp in your face. I apologize. That's rude. No, I am online. So let's see. Yeah, I am live. So let's see if anybody else shows up. Maybe it'll just be me and you. You never know. And there's Byron. Hey, Byron. I was just actually about to text you because I hadn't heard from you in a while. Hey, Adam Verwolf, how you doing? See, we got more people in here. It just took a minute. Hello, J.K. Siege and Justin Lobby. Mike Layton. Hello, Ivgams and Brandon Knight and Sparkster, the Transformers guy. Going pretty well. Hi, Beta Ray Bob. I'm fiddling around with this modern Stalker figure, not for any special reason. In one of the vehicles I had to get out for one of my reviews recently, this figure was stuck in it. I didn't put it in there. I think one of my nephews did. So, yeah, it's just out. I have no idea where his main weapon is, but anyway, the figure's here, so I'm just kind of checking him out. Hey, the Human Mechanism, Gaz. Everybody's here. See? Hi, Justin Luby, Matt Edwards. Thomas P., how do you do? Action Figure Expert. Action Figure Expert, if you're such an expert at action figures, which action figure am I holding just below the screen right now? Do you know that? Are you an expert? Huh? Yeah, Timmer didn't take the Stalker. Hi, Thomas. Yeah, and Shane Everett, I think I missed you. He just got the 83 headquarters complete, nothing broken. That's awesome, especially if you can get one that doesn't have the tabs broken. That's like the biggest thing on those headquarters is those the clips, not tabs, but the clips. Those break off way too frequently. Beta Ray Bob guessed correctly. I'm holding Stalker. I just showed it to you just a minute ago. Hi, Jason Flemma. If they make it return to G.I. Joe, would they try to make mask vehicles in it? I don't know. I think eventually, whether we like it or not... Hi, Mike Lopez. Whether we like it or not... In the long run, they're going to try to integrate like a Hasbro universe, which I don't think makes a whole lot of sense for Hasbro. But hey, you know, all the cool kids are doing it, so I think in the long run, you'll probably see Transformers in G.I. Joe. You'll probably see Mask. They're going to. You know, I think they're going to try to just put it all together. They'll at least try. You never know. I mean, all these movies and stuff that they're doing, they may get derailed to the point where they don't make it to the point of actually integrating them into a common universe. So it may not ever happen, but I think they're going to try to. I think they're going to try. Hello, Chad. Hope everybody's having a nice evening. I really didn't have a topic tonight. It's been kind of a busy time for me, so I didn't really have time to prepare anything. So I figured, why not just talk about Cobra Convergence and how that's going. Adam, what's going on with the Snake Eyes movie? It's kind of up in the air right now. I still feel like Hasbro needs the Snake Eyes movie to come out, so I still feel like they're going to make it happen, but they seem to be without a director right now. Hasbro Universe is G.I. Joe, Transformers, Gem, Mask, ROM, and Mystical Knights. The thing that's different about all those Hasbro properties is they were never designed to be in the same universe in the first place. So it's not like, Marvel, where you've had these characters interacting from the very beginning. You'd have to find some way of them coexisting when they're, in my opinion, not all of them are super compatible. But, cinematic universes, that's what the cool kids are doing. Yes, Beta Ray Bob is correct. They have Micronauts as well. Thanks, Damien. Johan, how you doing? I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you've been following Cobra Convergence 4. I was just looking on the schedule on HCC788.com. You guys are checking HCC788.com to find out what's going on, right? So it looks like tomorrow is the Joe on Joe podcast with Joe Slepsky. I've had Joe on my show. He was in the review of Storm Shadow version 2. And he's got a podcast that's actually kind of a long-running podcast. He's got a pretty good track record now. So make sure you check out Joe on Joe tomorrow. Oh, and Big Tragic One sends a $2 super chat. Thank you very much. Didn't ask a question. I would be happy to answer a question if you had one. Hello, Armor Magnus. So yeah, maybe they can fit the Power Rangers in. One issue that I see with a relaunch of G.I. Joe and and Mask and some of those other 80s properties is that, okay, Robert Klein, thanks. Don't flood the chat. But our generation that grew up with those properties, we're kind of aging out of the big target demographic that Hollywood likes to focus its nostalgia products on. So we're kind of getting beyond where the focus of nostalgia will be. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot more nostalgia focused on the 90s and less on the 80s. So if we're going to get really good movies and TV shows and other types of entertainment based on those properties, we'll have to get it pretty soon, because we're becoming the graybeards here. We're becoming the old ones, and soon Hollywood will be more interested in targeting people about 10 years younger than we are. No problem, Robert. It's cool. Uber Hulk says, last week picked up Rolling Thunder, Dark Lawns Invader with the figure, and Zanzibar. Good haul. Excellent. Cool. Don't think what you do with... what do you think of these figures? Well, I like the Rolling Thunder. I liked Dark Lawns Invader. I was a bit less enthusiastic about Darklon himself. And Zanzibar is kind of funny because he's a pirate. This is kind of random. It's a pirate dreadnought. Delvis is waiting for a Police Academy movie. Well, you hold out for that. I'm sorry. Somebody mentioned Unicron and Jabba's barge. What would I like to see from HasLabs for G.I. Joe? I mean, it doesn't really matter to me because, again, I don't collect modern figures and vehicles. I do have this modern Stalker here, but this was a gift, and so I have a sampling of those things. But I don't actively collect modern stuff anyway, so I don't really have a dog in that fight. It's not really my thing. So I guess it doesn't matter to me if they do a G.I. Joe HasLab. I do think it's a little bit strange that a company the size of Hasbro is crowdfunding its projects. That's a little odd, but Bobcat Goldthwait. Would I review Sigma 6? I hadn't planned on reviewing Sigma 6. I don't have any Sigma 6. Oh, is the video frozen? Hey, let me know if the video is frozen. If you're in the live chat, let me know if the video is frozen. And can you hear me? Let me check my signal strength. My signal strength is good, so we should be all right. The stream is buffering. All right, well, I hope that clears up because everything is go on my end. So if the video is hanging up, okay, at least the video is good for some people, so that's good. Good. Okay, all right. At least some of you guys can see me. That's great. Okay, cool. Well, hopefully those who are having video problems, that will clear up soon. Hey, I could do like a mini review of Stalker here. It's a direct homage to version 1 with the light green and dark green camouflage uniform. He's got his black straps and he's got his green beret. Pretty good head sculpt, that's not bad. It's got modern articulation. One thing I do like about modern articulation is the double jointed knees. That's not bad. But like, suppose you need to sit this guy in a vehicle. It's kind of doing a man spreading thing here. So I hope the vehicle has plenty of leg room because, see, well, you can kind of, well, it depends. If you don't bend the legs all the way up, you can kind of get him into a better seating position. And at least the plastic is a little flexible, so his legs will flex a little bit. But yeah, I actually haven't looked at this Stalker figure in a while. I don't know where his main weapon went, but he has a pistol, which has apparently fallen out. Where does the pistol go? Now, the pistol is around here somewhere. It'll turn up. So he had a pistol in this holster here, and it's tiny. It's like a little tiny Beretta. Do I think the straps being a separate piece add to them? Well, I think they kind of had to do it that way since they decided to make the chest swivel kind of at the rib cage. So they kind of like, if they didn't have the straps as a separate piece, then you couldn't really do that. So it's an opportunity to add a little bit of extra detail and depth, so I don't think it's bad. But I think they also kind of backed themselves into a corner with the articulation points that they chose. Armor Magnus says, I like that there's articulation at the wrist. There is, right there, articulation at the wrist. His extremely tiny wrists. You can turn the hands as long as you don't lose them in the vehicles. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so guys, I honestly did not have a topic. Brian says he's loving Cobra Convergence 4. Thank you very much. Cobra Convergence 4 is what's taking up all my time. I have next week's video ready. And so I'm working on the following one, which will be my last video of Cobra Convergence. And it's long. I guess I should say. I'm not reviewing something big. I'm reviewing an action figure, but there's a lot to it, and it's a really long script. Plus, I like added a bunch of extra scenes and stuff. So it's I've lined up a lot of work for myself. Painted Plastic says watching JoeFan82 stuff lately, wanting to check out some modern stuff. Well, cool. That's what I hope that you can get out of his stuff. I like JoeFan82 as well. How's the Defiant coming along? Mike Lopez says right now it is not coming along because I am focused on other things. Once I get past this month. Once we get into August, I can return to it, but I've had to sacrifice a couple projects just because I can't seem to get to them. So I got to get past Cobra Convergence, and then I will reassess. Fat Cat says, Yo Joe from Canada, eh? Yo Joe from the United States. Trek Viewer says, I think it would be cool to see a G.I. Joe PS4 game done in the same style of the cartoon with all the characters and vehicles. Now, that would be interesting. If you do it in the style of cartoon, then it's definitely going for the retro appeal. But if you can pull it off, maybe that would be cool. Any thoughts on the Battle Wagon? It is big, it is heavy, and it's got blue parts to it. I have not been able to test out the gun on my Battle Wagon yet. I just gotta get some more batteries. I'm short on batteries right now, but I want to try it out. I think my opinion of the Battle Wagon will probably hinge on if I think the gun is cool. If the gun is cool, then much can be forgiven. But man, we got some orange and we got some blue on there. And I could just imagine the Battle Wagon looking really cool in like different colors. But still, I'll test out the gun when I can and see how that works. But right now, what I can say about the Battle Wagon, it's big and it's heavy. Oh, there was for the live action commercials, they built sort of like a full scale Battle Wagon. And in the commercial, if I recall correctly, it was driven by Kirk Bazigian. So there's a bit of trivia for you. Kaylee says, I remember Transformers doing a game like that called Devastation. Oh, that's interesting. What state is everybody from? Sparkster from Ohio. Hello, Ohio from the United States. Mike Lopez from Arizona, but I don't believe he's in Arizona right now. But still, hello, Arizona from the United States. Christian Brick sends €10. That's cool. Thank you, Christian, for the €10. That's awesome. I want to have like actual euros. I've been to the UK and I think I still have some British pound notes, but I didn't go to Europe and I didn't pick up any euros. So someday I'm going to have to get some euros. Hello, California from the United States. Hello, Indiana and Virginia, also from the United States. Hello, New York, not the city. Finland. We are an international crowd. Thank you, Christian. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. So yeah, as I said before, I don't have a topic. I just wanted to talk to you guys. And here's Rezakai with $10, 10 American dollars. And he says, hey, HCC, what are your thoughts on the new movie news for Snake Eyes proceeding without a director? Well, you got to have a director. That's pretty important. I have to assume they have a backup director in mind. Some people are saying that they may be switching plans to go to like a G.I. Joe movie rather than a Snake Eyes solo movie, and I guess that's possible. But I believe they've already done some work on the Snake Eyes movie already, so I'd kind of be surprised if they just totally scrapped that. But it leaves us up in the air. I mean, they're pushing the release date out again, but they still want it to come out in 2020. Fine, but movies like that, they aren't made overnight. You got to have some direction. No pun intended. You got to have a director, but you got to have somebody at the helm deciding where the ship is going. So. Sure, it'll be James Cameron. So I don't know. I still would like to see the Snake Eyes movie. I'm still trying to be optimistic about it. Some of the story elements that have leaked, I don't know if are true or not. You don't know how, these Hollywood rumors that you hear. You don't know if you should believe them or not. So I'm gonna kind of take those with a grain of salt. But I'm still trying to be optimistic about it. Hello, JJ. I would direct the movie. They just got to give me a call. Now, if I directed the Snake Eyes movie, I can guarantee you that I would produce a movie that I like. Now, nobody else may like it, but I can guarantee I'd get a movie that I like. If only I could just buy all the tickets, then, it would be great. Tell us what vehicles or play sets you're completing. Well, I actually have something I'm working on. The secret I can't say. Something rare that I'm hoping I can pick up in the next couple months. But as far as vehicles, there are a couple parts here and there on the Mauler I'd like to complete. That thing has been sitting around for at least a couple years, and I haven't finished it. I'll tell you one thing that I have had my eye on for quite a while, and I keep passing on it, and I really shouldn't. I'd like to get the Hiss Mark II. The Hiss II is, I think, an interesting vehicle. I'd like to, get a closer look at it. I've had multiple opportunities to get one, and every time I'm like, I get it later. But, here it is several years later, and I still haven't got one. And, like, 90s vehicles, even though I'm not a big fan of Ninja Force, there are some Ninja Force vehicles that I need to track down, especially, like, the Battle Axe and the Pile Driver, which are, they're ridiculous, but, I gotta tick those boxes. Sparkster says they're getting lag in the video. I'm sorry. Like I said, my signal strength is still really strong. So, hey, there's MCDJ ACDC. Nice to see you, sir. The Mauler, Mike Lopez says need antenna and heavy metal's gun. I also have... My heavy metal has a repro mic, which, of course, is not... I can't do a review with a repro mic. And the prices on the mics are getting a little bit ridiculous, but at some point soon, I'm going to go ahead and bite the bullet and get one that I can authenticate is real, so I can get this thing reviewed. I like the Mauler. I really like the Mauler, and right now it's just sitting there. It's just sitting there doing nothing, just staring at. Actually, it's sitting right here. This is why I keep looking over there, because it's sitting right here. I have heavy metal in a plastic bag so that I don't lose the parts that I have anyway. I have the gun, but the strap is broken. Oh, and I have like the small end. Is it the small antenna? Hang on a second. I have the tow rope. Ah, this thing is dusty. Hold on. Let's pause for a moment to see what HCC has for the hammer. That's not that. Okay, here it is. So this, I think, yeah, that's the short one. I have the short antenna, but I need the long one. I think I've got about everything else, though. Oh, hey, look. I found Stalker's little gun. Hold on. Let me put his little gun back. There you go. There you go, Stalker. There you go. Anyway, so, yeah. I've got the extra bogey here. I've got the side panels. I've got the mud flaps. I've got the grenade launchers. I've got the small antenna, which I put back in my little plastic bag because I'm trying not to lose it. The tow rope, that's a hard one to find, but so I'm glad I got that, but still got a ways to go to get the Mauler done. Oh, the grenade launcher thing fell off, and put that back on. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, the Mauler is a long-term project. Do I have the Blockbuster? I don't believe I have the Blockbuster. I had a Blockbuster video card. We used to rent movies there. Yeah, the Mauler is awesome. I really, really want to review it, but it's a tough one to complete. Sometimes I think it would be cheaper and easier to just find a complete one and just buy it complete. But if you can get one with an authentic microphone for heavy metal, that's just, the prices are getting ridiculous. Trek Viewer says, when you test the gun for the battle wagon, make sure you do it in a room with plenty of space because of the range of the gun. Thanks for the warning. My plan was to do it about, I don't know, 2 feet from Susan's face, and see if she can duck fast enough. Of course, I can't do a review with a repro mic. I can't do that. That's because some people will use my reviews to decide, what they're going to buy, and to, basically get a preview of what they might want to get. I got to make sure that what I show you is real and not fake. So even though it would be easier and cheaper, in fact, I already have a repro mic. I can't put a repro mic on an HD screen and tell you to go get that. So as a reviewer, I don't think I would be doing my job. Fat Cat says, am I and Retro Blasting ever going to do a crossover? We're talking about one. It's going to take a while, though, but we are talking about one. But it's not going to be immediate. But we have had the discussion. The Equalizer is better and cooler. The Equalizer is awesome. In fact, if I had the Equalizer the Equalizer is right up there. I'd love to show you the Equalizer. But yeah, the Equalizer is great. But I still like the original Mauler. I like the desert colors on the Mauler. And I like that it's it's a more traditional tank. I feel like we should have had more traditional tanks. Beta Ray Bob says, how do you tell the difference between a repo mic and a real one? There are a lot of things to look for. There's too much probably for me to go into here. Fragminian sends $5. Oh, thank you. If you could direct the G.I. Joe or direct the Joe movie and got Larry Hama to cameo, what would you want him to do in it? Oh, I would want. Oh, no. Okay, hold on. Hold the phone. All right. Here's what I would want. I wouldn't want Larry Hama to just do a cameo. All right. I would want Larry Hama for the role of the Hardmaster. Larry Hama, he's a martial artist. He's an actor. Larry Hama for the Hardmaster. That's what I would do. It's more than a cameo, and it's an important part. Since the Hardmaster has to die, he wouldn't be in the whole movie, but that's there you go. Larry Hama, Hardmaster. Let's see if we can get that to happen. Let's start lobbying now. Good question, though. I think the way movies are cast, the studio probably wouldn't allow it to happen because they'll probably try to find some name, But I don't think there's anybody who could do the role better. It's like he's born for it. You know what? Christian says you want to kill Larry Hama. I don't literally want to kill Larry Hama, but what a dramatic, screen death he would have. I think a lot of actors would love to have that kind of scene and that kind of opportunity. Would he do it? I have no idea. I don't know. But again, I'm the director, right? And I'll have to strong arm the producer here. But I think if we backed a truckload of money up to his house, he might be talked into it. I agree, classic American flyer trains. It's hard to imagine anyone who has contributed more to G.I. Joe than Larry. You talk about what Ron Rudat and Kirk Bazigian did, and they were indispensable for the line. But Larry really gave life to the entire universe, and he's been working on it all the way up to the present day. It's been a huge part of his own life. So yeah, Rise of Cobra did have a cameo with Larry Hama. That is true. He's shared a story that they were really trying to make Snake Eyes talk in that movie, and that's the one battle he had to win, is to make sure Snake Eyes didn't talk. Hello, James, aka Ratface44. How's it going? Brandon Knight says, am I interested? I'm not. Sorry, no, I'm not interested in that. He says he needs first-class airfare to cons due to joint issues. He's had, and I'm not, talking behind anybody's back because he's talked about it publicly, but he's had some joint pain in his body and particularly in, I guess, his hand and his wrist. That makes it difficult for him to draw and to sign lots of stuff. So, honestly, he's had the kind of career in comic books that few other people alive have had. So get him some first-class airfare anyway. You know, the guy's got a list of credits, you know, longer than most of the people that you would call legends. And so, you know, get him some first-class airfare. You know, you can do that. You can do that for Larry. B. Bishop, any thoughts on Deadpool creator taking on Snake Eyes comic? You're talking about Rob Liefeld. I know he's enthusiastic about it, and I know a lot of the other people are enthusiastic about it too. Green Yeti, it's fine. He said that it really bothers him just when he has to sign like a whole big stack of stuff. Rob Liefeld is enthusiastic about doing Snake Eyes. It will bring attention to the brand, so it most likely will be popular. And so that's all a win. You know, there's no downside to that. My misgivings just come from the fact that I'm not a big fan of Rob Liefeld's art style. That's a personal preference. All right, it's entirely a personal preference. I'm not saying anybody else should like it or not. Hello, Jenna. Glad you made it. So that's my only misgiving. So I want to support something that will bring positive attention to the brand. But it's like if you could pick just one artist that I would pray it would not be that guy, it's probably Rob. And I'm sorry, Rob. Everybody says Rob Liefeld is a really nice guy, and I'm sure he is, and he loves comic books, and I'm sure he does. It is just entirely a personal preference that he's just far from my favorite comic book artist. I'll tell you what I would love to see, and what I would think would be a great combination for even one issue is not Rob Liefeld, is to see Jim Lee drawing Larry Hama scripted G.I. Joe comic. Jim Lee did a comic book for Image way back in the early days, and I want to say it was called Death Blow, but it was very military themed, and it was almost kind of G.I. Joe-like, and it maybe had a little bit of G.I. Joe inspiration behind it. And so, I mean, it's not outside his wheelhouse, but that would be my dream combination, is Jim Lee drawing a Larry Hama scripted G.I. Joe story. Even if it's just one issue. Just give me that. Give me that before I die, right? Or before they die, because they're older than me. But, yeah. So, yeah, and look here. I don't want to dump on Rob Liefeld. We everybody knows I have my preferences. I have the things that I like and I dislike. But what we do not do here on this channel is hate campaigns. I'm not starting any kind of hate campaign against anybody. And not liking somebody's art style is not a reason to hate that person anyway. I'm just saying, this is not my bag. That's all. I'm just saying, it's not my bag. Tom Hardy, an awesome Flint in the Snake Eyes movie. I don't know if Flint would be in the Snake Eyes movie, but he could be a pretty good Flint. How they didn't make a Snake Eyes movie back in the 80s ninja craze. Yeah, that would have been the time to do it. But then you gotta think, special effects and stuff being what they were in the 80s, it may not have turned out as cool as you would expect. Trek Viewer says, last time I fired the battle wagon gun, it went about 12 feet. Holy crap. Susan better duck fast. Jason David Frank should play the Hard Master. An actor and an actual martial artist. That is something that I think would be an asset, and something that maybe they should look for if they're going to do the Snake Eyes movie, is to get real martial artists. And you know what? And even if Ray Park doesn't play Snake Eyes, he could do something in the movie. You could have him in the movie. You can have him be a ninja or something. But show some respect to Ray Park, too. Hello, Peter Ang. I'm enjoying the conversation tonight. Honestly, guys, like I said, I didn't bring any topics. I just wanted to hang out and talk with you guys. So I'm just sort of watching the live chat and making my comments and answering questions. This is the best part of my day, and so far the best part of my week as well. So thanks everyone for showing up. I really appreciate it. Work has been somewhat busy, so I'm tired from that. And then I'm doing extra work on Cobra Convergence stuff. So after Cobra Convergence, I'm gonna take a little break. I'm really gonna need it. Let's see. Dr. Mindbender as well would be awesome. And yeah, there are so many elements of G.I. Joe that have not made it into any movies, like the Dreadnoks, Dr. Mindbender, and so on, that some have suggested that it be like a TV show or like a series on a streaming service like Netflix, and I think that's a really good idea. It doesn't sound like that's the direction that Hasbro is moving. But if they did do that, then you could tell a much longer story, and you could get elements in it like the Dreadnoks, like Dr. Mindbender, Serpentor, all that. It would really give you a chance to expand the story and get all those elements in that it'd be difficult to fit into a movie. Hi, Solid. Welcome. Is the weather hot there? Yes, David, the weather is extremely hot here. Actually, yesterday wasn't too bad, but today is hot, and it looks like it's going to be hot all the way through the week and through the weekend. So, yeah, we have boiling hot summers here. It has to be the first true evil genius of Cobra, Dr. Venom. I would love to see like a movie adaptation of like the Quinn and Dr. Venom stories. There's something kind of cinematic about that story arc that I think it would make a great movie. I think the only reason they wouldn't do that is because absent from that would be certain elements that came later. So you'd have to find some way to fit Storm Shadow. They're not going to do a movie without Storm Shadow. They're not going to do a movie without Duke, so you have to find some way to fit Duke into it. So, yeah, I would love to see like a live-action Dr. Venom. That would be sweet. Jenna is enjoying Cobra Convergence 4. Thank you, and thank you for watching. Cobra Law the musical. That's it. If the next movie is not a Cobra Law-centered musical, I'm out. I'm not going. I demand a musical based on Cobra Law. Let's get you Rogers and Hammerstein on that right now. Let's get that started. Your Fragminian, I have heard the Dr. Venom stuff in IDW did get kind of weird. I can't comment on it because I haven't read it yet. I'll read it eventually. Now that I'm, current, I'm on the comic book, now I have to go back and read some of the stuff that I missed. So there's a lot of the IDW series that I have not read yet, but I will get to it. Dr. Mindbender uses mind control on Duke. All right, okay. Hear me out for a second, okay? In Rise of Cobra, the Baroness is put under, mind control stuff, and the mind control is broken through the power of love, right? Everybody remember that? it was really stupid. Now, I know that was ridiculous, but that concept kind of came from the comic book series. There was a story in the comic book series where the Baroness was under mind control, and it was broken by the power of love. Not love of Duke, but love of Destro. So, yeah. That was a little later in the Marvel Comics run. Andre says, greetings from Uruguay. Hello, Uruguay. I'm sorry I can't say the name of your country. I've had a little bit of Sam Adams Boston Lager here. But Uruguay, welcome from the United States. But, yeah, Larry did a lot to kind of create a larger universe around his main characters. So you had a lot of supporting characters that actually contributed to the story, like the Hard Master, the Soft Master, like Candy and Professor Apple, like Quinn and Dr. Venom. And so it makes the world seem bigger to have these characters in it. But, they weren't just extras. These characters actually contributed to the story. They did things that actually had consequences for the main characters, which I just think is good writing. Excuse me. Steve Austin will make a great gung-ho. I think I could picture that. Boston Lager. Yes, Green Yeti likes Cobra Law, and there's nothing wrong with liking Cobra Law. You can love Cobra Law all you want, and I know some people do. You can enjoy your Galobulus, but that doesn't mean I have to agree. I'll tell you what, if you had yourself a series, like a TV series, so that you had time to get to all of these storylines that would probably never fit into a movie. If you're gonna have Cobra Law in it, you can't do Cobra Law until like season 9, right? Like, put it way out there, and that'll be like officially the moment that the series jumps the shark, and you can sneak it in there right before it's canceled, right? So it'll make it onto the DVD set, so everybody who loves Cobra Law will get their Cobra Law. Oh, I'm out. Oh, man. Oh, we still got like 12 minutes. Hey, we're doing really good. Thanks everyone for showing up once again. And again, I'm sorry I didn't really have a topic to talk about here. Other than, just generally about Cobra Convergence. I guess I can say that plans are in the works, I guess, for Joe Fest 2020. It's still very early, so I don't know exactly what the plans will be, but I can tell you plans are being made. So when we find out more, we'll start talking about it, because I would like to see a lot of you at Joe Fest next year. Rudy says, after seeing a Bumblebee movie, I'd be quite happy for a specific time period set movies, Snake Eyes set in 1985. I think you absolutely could do that. You'd have to change some things, though. You probably have to change a lot of things anyway, because you can't have Snake Eyes as a Vietnam vet and then, have him do things like in the modern, and even in 1985, the age wouldn't be quite right. So, but like period movies and TV shows in the 80s, those are kind of hot right now. And I have to kind of point out something. I kind of laughed at something, because I've watched a few reviewers talk about Bumblebee, and like since then talk about like Stranger Things, and talk about how those movies and TV shows seem to be pandering to people who are nostalgic for the 80s by just having so many 80s references, everywhere. Like they go a little too heavy on the 80s references. Now to that, I have to say that I was there, right? I remember almost all of the 80s. I grew up in that time. That's not pandering. That's just how it was. Believe it or not, in the 80s, we were totally surrounded by 80s stuff all the time. So if you're going to do an 80s movie properly, then it's going to have a ton of 80s references, and it would even look shameless, like, oh my god, look at all this product placement from the 80s. But dude, that's how it was. We were surrounded by that stuff. It was the 80s. So, I mean, to me, it's just like, yeah, that's how I grew up. That's what it was like. And people who weren't there are like, it's too 80s. It's too much 80s. It's not too much 80s. That's how the 80s was. Don't want Snake Eyes to be a secondary character in his own movie, like Bumblebee was in his. I don't know how they're going to do it, first of all. But you have a character that's similar to Bumblebee in that he doesn't speak. But he would be surrounded by some important characters such as Storm Shadow and hopefully Stalker. So you can tell it. You basically you have to tell this story through the rest of the cast. So I don't know if that means making him a secondary character. I don't know if I'd call it that, but from like a storytelling standpoint, you have to lean on the other characters for dialogue and things like that when you have a character that doesn't speak. Now they've talked about basically setting the movie before Snake Eyes lost his voice. So they were going to have a movie where Snake Eyes, at least for part of it, would speak. And I understand why they would want to do that, but that's not how you do Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes can't speak. He just can't. Even before, if you look at the stories about Snake Eyes that are told from before he lost his voice, you don't hear his voice. He doesn't speak then either. Everybody kind of speaks for him and around him, but he doesn't speak, even though at that point he can. Now, I know this is a challenge from a storytelling point of view, but so what? Step up to the challenge and do it right. That's my point. Step up to the challenge and do it right. Samuel L. Jackson would be Stalker. Now, Samuel L. Jackson is like old Stalker, yeah. But Samuel L. Jackson is getting up there in years. Samuel L. Jackson from like 20 years ago would be an awesome Stalker. But of course, they're not going to call a character Stalker. They're just not. And I get that. I mean, you don't Stalker now. If you had a character named Stalker in your movie, people would giggle and laugh at it, and that's not the response you want from your audience. So, yeah. But still, I like the character in the movie, even if he's called something else. That's fine. I'm sorry, I didn't see Plastic Battles here. Hello, Plastic Battles, another Cobra Convergence person. G.I. Joe serial briefly in Stranger Things. I think there were some opportunities to get more Joe stuff in there, like in the scenes where there is an actual toy tank, and it's not a G.I. Joe tank. It should have been the Mobat. But as you know, it's fine. I'm just saying it could have been the Mobat. Hey, look, guys, we got about 5 minutes before we wrap it up. When we're done here, I actually got to set up to start recording the next review. I'm not going to record it this evening, but I've got to get everything set up for it because I got to start recording it tomorrow. I've got some busy recording days for the next 2 or 3 days. They made like 13 Friday the 13th movies, and Jason Voorhees never said one line. Yes, it can be done. There are examples in cinema where it has been done. So, just get somebody who's smart and creative enough to do it. One of the reasons that Snake Eyes is such an empathetic character, well, first of all, he has every tragic event happen to him. Like, his life has been filled with loss for basically his entire adult life. He's lost nearly everyone that's important to him. But also, because he's sort of a blank with, mask, no words, the audience sort of projects their own feelings onto him. And that is diminished when you have him start, reciting the Gettysburg Address. And please don't do like a Silent Bob, all right? Don't do a Silent Bob where he's silent up until the end, and then he has a speech. That's not. Come on. So anyway, I'm still trying to remain optimistic about Snake Eyes movie. They're making it harder to be optimistic, I have to admit. But honestly, just if they can make something that a general audience will like and like people actually go see and it will be successful, I'll forgive it. All is forgiven if you make a movie that people will actually go see. I'm easy to please. Yes, I think we need to insist on like a Snake Eyes Shadow Ninjas movie. He should spend the whole movie in just like that milk white outfit. So many possibilities. You guys have been really, really great. Peter, I have not had time to check your stuff, and I'm sorry. I will try to, but life is a little busy right now. This is like the busiest time of the year for me, so I can't get to it right now. But I do appreciate you guys showing up. This is my favorite time of the week because I get to sort of take a step back from the work and just sit down and talk with you guys, and it's refreshing. It is really refreshing. Actually recording the reviews and editing the reviews, it's a very solitary activity. So it's nice when I actually get to interact with people and talk with you guys. So thanks for showing up, and thanks for making the live stream so fun. It really is a lot of fun for me. So there's Stalker with his little pistol. Sometimes the vintage figures had a hard time holding their accessories. Well, the modern figures are kind of hit and miss as well. The hands are really rubbery, which in one aspect is good, right? Because he's not likely to break a thumb off. That's nice. But, he's not gripping his pistol really well. Anyway, so Stalker and I thank you for joining us this evening. I'm about to sign off, and like I said, I've got to get stuff set up because I absolutely must start recording the next review tomorrow. So I've got to have everything ready to go. So thanks everyone for showing up. I am going to go ahead and wrap this up. We will do this again next week. Don't forget to check out. In fact, let me tell you. Let me pull up HCC788.com, and don't forget to catch the Joe on Joe podcast tomorrow, and then the Skull reviews on the 18th, the Human Mechanism on the 19th, the Viper's Pit podcast on the 20th, and Comic Tropes on the 21st. And then Kickley on the 22nd. Plastic Battles on the 23rd, Toy Polloi on the 24th, What's on Joe Mine podcast on the 25th, Codename New 2 Vera 2 on the 26th, Sanitarium Productions on the 27th, me on the 28th, and Fun School Ronnie on the 29th, and then Half the Battle on the 30th. And to wrap up the event on the 31st, I'll try to put together some special video, kind of a commemorative thing. Basically like the closing ceremonies for the event. So that's all of your Cobra Convergence stuff coming up. Excuse me. There's a lot of really great stuff coming up. So I hope you check it out. Make sure you check HCC788.com to get the whole calendar and see what's coming up. And we'll just keep it coming. So thanks, everyone. I'm going to say good evening. And I will see everyone next week. Bye-bye.